Come out with us and play. Love your London. Have a banana. In today's episode of Love Your London, we are in Upney, where Dame Vera Lynn used to live. We visit Rippleside Cemetery, Mayesbrook Park, the local Barking FC team, and then make our way back towards Barking via the impressive Barking Park. But first, a visit to the truly stunning 16th century Eastbury Manor House.
Hello there, it's Love Your London time again. Thank you for joining us, and yes, this time I managed to remember to pick it out of the printer. Like, if you remember the last 3 episodes on Barking and Dagenham, it said Balham there. It's very embarrassing, but anyway, it's a new day, a new dawn, and we are here in beautiful Upney. And I'm not lying, I mean, look at this. This is Eastbury Manor House. Isn't it fantastic? It's open every single Sunday between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. It's part of the National Trust. I'm really looking forward to finding out everything about it. It's Elizabethan, of course, that's all I really know about it. So this is going to be as new to us as it is to you. What I do know is that the building dates between 1566 and 1572. After Clement Sisley from Barrow Hall in Essex was granted a coat of arms, and he built his manor on the messuage that had been sold to him by the Abbott family. By the way, a messuage is basically a plot of land with a house on it and some outbuildings. Now we know that it is from about 1566 because dendrochronology has dated the timbers in the attic to 1566. I'm not sure how they could be that precise, but that's what I've read. So we do know that it wasn't built before then. It was completed in 1572, and apparently, hopefully we'll get to see it, that's been carved into the brickwork somewhere. Either way, it's very old, and it's right in the middle of Queen Elizabeth I's reign. And of course it's Grade 1 listed, so it's right up there with the most important buildings in the country. And today we're going to visit it. Now I must say, I do like their coat of arms. Here it is. I'm going to put on the screen actually a better picture, but it's got these 3 goats. I do like goats on coats of arms. There aren't enough goats on coats of arms, so I really like the coat of arms of FC Köln, the German football team, because they've got a goat on it. It really stands out. It's an often ignored animal, the humble goat. Anyway, so this is a brick-built gentry house. It was going to be demolished in the 1910s, can you believe it? Thankfully, the Society for the Protection of Ancient Buildings realised how important it was, and it became the National Trust's first ever acquisition in London. It was 1918, I believe. Now, there is a rumour, I don't actually really believe it, but maybe they can clarify it, that the gunpowder plot was actually hatched in this building. Very unlikely, very, very unlikely. I'll tell you why, because at the time, Baron Monteagle was living here. He was the one who received the letter tipping the crown off that the gunpowder plot was going to happen and where. So it's very unlikely that the conspirators would have actually conspired at the place that was their enemy. Furthermore, he wasn't even living here at the time. The letter was delivered to Baron Monteagle's place in Hoxton, so very, very unlikely that it was here, but still, it's just one of those rumours that this was one of the places where it happened. Yeah, there's quite a few places around London where it supposedly happened, the conspiratorial meetings. Enfield's another one, so we'll be mentioning that when we get to Eve for Enfield. So do remember to subscribe, and that way you'll get a little notification if you ring that bell. Like our videos, share them on your social media, you can become our patron. You'll see all the little things on your screen there.
Oh, and if you're interested in Guy Fawkes, you will find links in the YouTube description to 2 specials. In one, we visited and reviewed the Gunpowder Plot immersive experience beside the Tower of London, and in the other we attempted to see what would happen if we tried to revive Penny for the Guy on the streets of Barnet with real children of 2 of our subscribers. Anyhow, let's now take a look inside Eastbury Manor House.
How do you pronounce Sisley? I was trying to work out.
Well, I say Sisley, but we don't know.
Yeah.
Sisley or
because obviously the painter's spelt differently, isn't it, with S-I-S?
Well, the council have called that road Sisley Road, with an I.
Okay. So when was this last residence? Or
Late 19th century.
was that Baron Monteagle's family?
No.
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 In the 19th century, it was rented out to lots of different people.
Yeah.
This is a parlour. The film's on a loop, so it goes on and on. The original door, we've got 2 or 3 original doors. And yes, you have to duck.
Yes, that's fine. I'm used to it. We went to the curfew tower yesterday. It's about a metre high door to get in.
There's a stoop door. They're doing that on purpose.
These are the gardens.
The family garden. The walls are original brick, and then
I think the pillory isn't original, is it? Yeah. I heard that there's a drain pipe somewhere with the date written
date
in
on it. Yes, I'm not sure which one that is.
15 something.
In the walls there are these little alcoves. You can see one behind that tree. This one at the bottom, and there are 2 along there. So 6 altogether, and they were for bees.
Ah, for bees.
Yes.
Very good.
The old skeps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Skep.
Well, that's an archaic. They often wrote
The straw is called a skep. The actual hive is called a skep.
Yes.
The thing they're kept in, I call them alcoves, but the proper name is a bowl. B-O-L-L.
B-O-L-L.
So it's a bee bowl.
That makes sense.
Oh, lovely.
We think they had a well in the middle there. And what you've got there is a stair turret, so there are 2 staircases. That one enclosed with a brick turret. It's a fairly old idea. You get them in medieval houses. This was identical, but this one collapsed in the 19th century. So they replaced it with a wooden facade.
Makes sense.
And then I usually bring visitors down here. If you come down here, you can actually see the chimneys much better than you can from elsewhere. You get a good view of the chimneys.
Oh, lovely. Oh, pity the poor young boy who had to go up there.
Various rooms and so on. Wow. Yeah.
And you probably didn't notice when you came in on the front wall there was a heart picked out.
Yes.
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
Clubs.
Right.
And they had that little bit of fun. These little messages.
So
They're card symbols.
Yes.
Yep.
And we have a diamond on the other wall.
Yep. So there's one on each wall.
No.
Oh, there's one on each.
Secrets and meanings.
There is no
rhyme or reason.
logic to it.
Right.
On the front wall, it's between the first and second floor.
Yes.
Here it's down.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other heart is on the bottom as well.
Yes.
So,
And you're lucky they're still
Oh,
there.
so just
They haven't
hearts
been
and clubs.
picked up.
and yes,
And
that's
diamond.
I think that's club. There is a diamond.
Yes.
And a spade.
No,
No spade.
spades are bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, the
Hit
black
your grave
spade.
with the spade.
Yes.
Okay.
Fantastic. Costs a lot of money to keep this place standing. Oh boy. Do not put any pressure on. Those are beauts.
The beam is original, and it's black because of smoke. It's not painted. So they would hang meat from it.
Yes.
The ironwork is not from the house. It's just put there.
Yeah.
Collections of nice things.
Yeah. The panelling, we think it's very old, but possibly not original to this room. They think it was maybe moved in here. This was originally the kitchen garden.
Okay.
They've got a little bit there. We don't have a full-time gardener, so it's a volunteer who tries to do her best with it. But all of this would have been the garden. And
Well, obviously it is. It says, please mind the falling pears. You're very lucky to have them.
they've all fallen now, I think.
Yeah.
You see those 2 pillars?
Yes.
That was the original entrance, so you didn't come in the front gate and down to the front door. You came along here.
That's
and
interesting.
that wooden wall and the hedge were actually brick walls, so you walked along there. And I presume it's a security thing, so people can't rush the front door. They have to come down the side and in along.
By invitation only.
Well,
And they kept an eye on you.
yeah.
Up there, waiting patiently. There's a pear on the floor. Put that in the conserves.
We have a heart.
Yes, there's one.
This one. this is an original staircase.
Oh yeah, you can tell.
That's what I was a bit concerned about. Oh my goodness, we still can go up here.
It does go right to the top of the turret.
Yeah.
And there are windows. If you go right to the top, the windows are up there. I can just about see out.
Okay, I can.
You can see
do that, and I'll
you
stand
can see
by.
the chimney and the roof a bit closer up. This room, we think the house may have been demolished in the early 20th century, but a group got together, campaigned to save it, and they got involved with William Morris,
Yes.
and so it was eventually bought and given to the National Trust. And to commemorate 100 years of being a National Trust property and being saved from demolition, they painted the room. Come in. William Morris on the wall. So
There he is, yeah.
it was to celebrate the fact that together they had rescued the house from demolition.
This was the first London property, wasn't it? I believe that
Yes.
the National
Yes.
Trust took over.
Particularly Rushton approved as well. Isn't this amazing?
That's paid. That's actually interesting. Yeah.
This is just another guest room. These costumes are done by the local college.
Oh, lovely.
And these people worked in and around Eastbury, which is why
Marvellous.
they made the costumes to represent who they were. This is the local heritage society. It's going, I think, in a week or two. It's only a temporary exhibition. The reason this room is famous is for the painted walls. Basically, in a state of disrepair. Lots of windows were smashed and so on. This floor had gone. So this is all that remained. This is actually from about the late 1590s, early 1600s. That coat of arms has been traced to a man, and we think he is the one who paid to have all this painted. And he had lived in Spain for a long time.
Yes.
So it's a very intriguing painting, but I won't go into it. So there were 2 bedrooms that side, there are 2 here. I know it's one big room, but there are 2 doors and there are 2 fireplaces. So originally 2 bedrooms. And you can tell that because of the doors and the fireplaces. The holes mean there was a wall down here.
Yep.
And then another set of holes, another wall. So I think this was a dressing room, and that was the bedroom. And I would think this was probably Cicely's room because in a lot of houses the master bedroom is on the east where the sun rises.
That makes
So he
sense.
wakes up nice and early.
And the walls also might have also been for hanging drapery.
No,
What are they? Along here, on the.
they're all there. I have a photograph which shows the same thing on the Mary Rose. They're shipped.
They've repurposed them.
And if you look down there where those trees are,
Yes.
the Thames is the other side.
Yes. That
Yeah.
makes
Drag
sense.
them up.
Expensive.
Yeah.
Big chunks of oak.
Yeah.
That makes sense because I see these everywhere in this little town. And they've already been through the so-called war. They've proven their mettle.
Now, the reason this is put around the wrong way is deliberate because when this tower was originally built, look, it had a handrail built into the wall,
Yes.
which goes all the way down to the bottom. If you go down to the bottom, you can still see traces of it.
Yeah.
Of course, that was the bit that collapsed,
Yeah.
very expensive.
Very expensive, that brickwork. Look at that.
Yeah.
And they probably used bricks like that and they rubbed them down to get them into shape,
Yes?
Yeah.
which is a lot of man hours.
Oh boy.
This, I think, would have been what you get in a lot of Tudor houses called a long gallery. It had a plastered ceiling and a curved ceiling because you can see traces of the plaster on there and also traces on these angles. So it was a half sort of crescent plaster ceiling all the way down. And along the sides it was panelled. This is copied from the last by the original. So possibly panels looking like this all the way along on either side. The wood you're looking at is original, apart from this bit here, which is clearly modern. All the rest of it is original wood. and they dated it in the dendrochronology, means it fits the time scale.
Oh, good gracious.
So,
and some of it, I mean, how much of that, is some of that also shit work, or 'cause some of these are smaller beans?
don't know.
No, but that's
I
insertion.
think they're
order 10.
probably cut
It's
for
like-
use in the house.
They're smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Very specific to the roof.
Yeah. You will have a carpenter's mark. So I suspect they cut it,
Yes.
fitted it down on the ground, brought it up on a pulley,
Sure.
together again using the marks. There are a few
Boy.
of them scattered around.
Goodness gracious, is that in good shape? We're very lucky to have it. Here's another one. 2 and 2.
Yeah.
Look at that. Love it.
Probably a bedroom because we have a fireplace. There is no fireplace in there. So again, this was probably a bedroom, whereas that one was for moving about, walking up and down, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Back to the original staircase. If you go to the top there, you can, as I said, that's the top.
Oh, we can look over the
I'll leave you. I'll be downstairs if you want to know anything.
Thank you,
very
David.
much. Thank you very much.
Sea
Thank
legs,
you.
get your sea legs. Nothing in a house like this is true. In the sense that it's not even, you're going to need to duck dress. 6'3". Cement for the stairs.
No, 1927, there you go.
Yeah. Some of these, again, because
No,
of... Because,
1829.
sure. But you can see how it's been changed. You know, they've had to do stuff.
There was vandalism. Well, there's always been vandalism.
course.
Vandalism
Absolutely.
in Pompeii, isn't there?
It was vandalism since human beings could write.
Yeah, so we're here. It's actually closed at the moment. It looks like it shouldn't be. It says, according to Google, it opens at 11 o'clock. It's now long gone 11 o'clock. But they probably had a very late night last night. But basically, it's an East African pub. So yeah, so they're open until 4 a.m. on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, and they're open until 2 a.m. On the other nights. But it's a shame it's not open because I was quite looking forward to possibly trying gizzards. Gizzards I've never tried. They're quite high in cholesterol, so I'm not sure if I really should. But basically, a gizzard, if you don't know, it's something that, for example, chickens have, and a few other things. I think there's a few worms that even have them as well. You know, chicken, when they're sort of like pecking around in the dust and there's no sort of like seed there, they're not actually looking for seeds, they're looking for little pebbles. And they swallow the pebbles, and so then when they actually do eat food, they contract these pebbles that lie in the gizzard, and the pebbles sort of mash the food up, so then they can swallow it properly.
Some dinosaurs had them as well.
Some dinosaurs had them as well.
Related to.
Yeah.
They look well-rounded stones. You find them in the throat.
Find them in the throat. So obviously, then the gizzards, they when they cook them, you have to cook them very, very slowly, otherwise they become extremely tough. And apparently, they do a mean gizzard here. But it looks like I will not be eating gizzards today. Perhaps that's a good thing. Anyway, so
looking forward to that. Genuinely, I was.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway,
trails.
It's fun. I mean, there's lots of Kenyan people hang out there. Obviously, if you are in this area and you need a late night drink, this is the place to come because it opens till 4 o'clock in the morning most nights. Yes, so we're here in Rippleside Cemetery. Just having a little cut through to get to Upney station. Thought it'd be a bit nicer than walking on the main road. A bit more peaceful. There's a nice little chapel somewhere in the middle. I think it's down here. Well, one thing I must say we've noticed about this place, a lot of the graves are sort of sinking. It's extraordinary.
Quite a few. And like I said, it's often there. You have a lined. The
yes.
grave is lined with a, and the coffin is placed inside. It's like a vault in modern graves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at them. They're all
not very successful. Look at the state. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, if this was my family member, I'd be quite distressed.
Yes, I know. How old is this one? This is 1940 something.
64.
That one's 64. That one's 49.
But one back there was 1990. Look at this. 1988. Tilting like that.
Oh yeah. 1988. Look at it. I do hope that when I'm gone, my grave is looked after properly.
No, you get cremated or buried.
I'm not getting cremated.
Or get yourself wrapped in a...
I'm not getting cremated. I'm saying that now. I'm not getting cremated.
Well, then give your body to science. That's
no. I want a nice, beautiful, big coffin with the Love Your London logo on it.
Oh well. Well, we shan't bury you here then. Look.
No, not here.
I mean, goodness, it's like a wrecking yard. I've never seen such a thing in a modern cemetery.
No.
Golly gosh. Animal den.
Ah, yes.
But the others
The animals have had to go this one.
Yeah.
At least someone's got an excuse.
Yeah.
Another one. This is a little chapel in the middle. It's very nice. Let's head on to Upney. Upney. On the district line. Okay, so we are now at Upney station. This is going to be probably the shortest station episode that we've done, simply because there really is nothing to say really about it. It's one of the few stations that aren't grade listed. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not anything. As you can see, it's just basically, it's like a box as you go in, and then a ramp going down to the 2 platforms. It's on the district line, only on the district line. The station is in zone 4, and it is completely accessible. Yay! Now there is a toilet. It's not accessible, and it's only open Monday to Friday from 5 AM till 3 PM. So, obviously the people of Upney don't need toilets all the time. There you go. Okay, so we are here at Barking Hospital, Barking Community Hospital, to give it its correct title. As you can see, it has maternity services, and it was here where young baby Edge was born. Little young baby Edge, as in the guitarist from U2. Now, they only stayed, the Edges only stayed, actually it's not the Edges, is it? His name is it Howell? I think his name is Dave Howell. Let me just check my notes. Yes, I almost got it right. It's David Howell Evans. So the Edges or the Evans, they only lasted in Barking for 1 year, and then they moved over to Dublin. So Barking can't really claim to have really been very influential in the musical development of young baby Edge. It would be funny if it actually said Edge on his birth certificate, wouldn't it? But no, it says David Howell Evans, unfortunately. Anyway, let's move on to the next place. Okay, well, we're cheating a little bit now, because I did say that we were going to just stick to Barking in the first 4 episodes and Dagenham in the rest of the episodes of the series, but we're just popping into Dagenham now. This is the Mayes Brook. The Mayes Brook separates Barking and Dagenham villages or towns in this place. Obviously, it's according to the government, it's all just one big thing now, Barking and Dagenham. But as I said in our first episode, the people of Barking and Dagenham do feel very, very separate, or at least they don't feel that they should really be conglomerated together. This was an artificial construct by the powers that be. But here you go, the beautiful Mayes Brook. Look at all the ducklings over there. This is full of birds. Look at that, there's a swan over there. Isn't that beautiful? You right, swan? I hope King Charles is looking after you well. That's extraordinary. You never see them on land like that normally, do you? I've never seen a swan on land. I thought, well, obviously they do come out, but I've just never seen them chilling out like that. Look at all these geese. This is a lovely park, isn't it?
Clearly they're being...
No, these ones are quite aggressive.
They can't... Well, all birds can be aggressive. There's another... That's a goose as well. They're all quite edible.
Oh, they're all coming towards us. I think we've got food.
No, well, you just walk around.
Do they like cider?
Not particularly.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you are. The only family of what we consider dinosaurs still alive.
Yep.
They're descendants of theropods.
We're like young budding Attenboroughs, aren't we?
Oh yeah, sure. And apparently they like eating dirt, and that probably is going into their
Gizzard.
You got it. And the gizzard on them is right down there where the black meets
Yes,
the white.
look at that. There you go. A perfect example.
And they also get
Look.
minerals and all kinds of goodness in there. Far better for them than cigarette butts.
Yep. Okay, let's get out of here because I'm beginning to freak out being surrounded by so many geese.
All right, just
Look at their feet.
theropod.
Let's find somewhere a little bit.
Kicked around.
They're not actually, no, but they could turn on you any moment.
Well, and if they do that, you just
They can break your leg.
absolute nonsense. Now, if you were a child and they got you in the eye, that wouldn't be very nice. But they clearly are unfazed and they're in good shape. They're migratory.
Yes, yes.
They fly for thousands.
Are these
of
Canada
miles.
geese?
They certainly are. Aren't you lovely?
I think they're quite young. They've still got feathers on their beaks.
No, that's from preening.
Uh-huh.
They're not young. They're beautiful though.
This park has a very strange nickname, Matchstick Island. No one is really sure why it's called Matchstick Island. There's one theory that it's because this particular sort of isthmus linking that side of the park to that side of the park with a lake on either side, there is a theory that because of that and because of the shape of this isthmus, and it's sort of matchstick shaped because it's very long with a sort of like, and it opens out here on one end, as you can see behind me. It's in the matchstick shape, so this is possibly one of the reasons why this is known by the locals as Matchstick Island. There is, however, another possible reason. There was a match factory around here in Barking, and rumour has it that in the 1930s they did a bit of fly tipping, and one day they just left a load of matchsticks lying around here, fly tipping, and it's because of that it became known as Matchstick Island, or maybe they left it in the water and it created a sort of an island shape in the water, and then the whole park then became known as Matchstick Island. That is one theory. I'm not sure if there's any written evidence of that happening or whether that's hearsay, but either way it's either something to do with matchstick shapes or real bona fide matchsticks.
There you go.
So on Saturdays, according to the sign, come and try canoeing in the park. Saturdays from 10 AM till 1 PM. barkingcanoeclub.co.uk. I assume they're still running. If you actually go on Google Maps, it actually says temporarily closed or something like that. I don't know if they haven't maybe updated their Google Maps registry since the dark days of COVID. I don't know, but the sign says it's open on Saturday, so hopefully Google Maps is wrong. We have actually found that Google Maps has been wrong many times this weekend. We have here yet even more interesting members of the goose community. Hello. Now, here's a little interesting thing. As you can see, there's some steps here and some steps up there going absolutely nowhere. Because it's not that hard to walk this up, but here we have some steps. Why is that, you may ask? Well, it's actually a bit of a sad story. Basically, there used to be a beautiful garden here. It was an Italian garden, lovely big square thing. It used to be known by the locals as a Japanese garden as well, mainly because it was full of really beautiful lotus flowers. Sadly, in the 1980s, the local Barking hoodlums of the 1980s vandalised it constantly, and so the council took the rather sad decision to just simply fill it all in. So it's become known as sort of the sunken garden, because the beautiful garden that used to be here is no more. So these are the steps to nowhere. So I'm sure everyone here has heard of the Camden Roundhouse, but possibly few of you know that there is a roundhouse in Dagenham as well. And there it is, the Roundhouse. From here it doesn't look very round.
Oh, come on.
From here it doesn't look very round, but
Please tell me that's listed.
I would have thought so, yes. From here it doesn't look very round, but I'll just show you the Google Maps satellite imagery from above, and it is most certainly round. Now we're in for a treat. Oh, oh, bloody Google! Why do people not update their Google? This is ridiculous. Right, okay, now this is a call out. We've actually made the only reason we went through the park was to come here to the Roundhouse.
Oh, come on.
We
That's the place with the geese.
No, it was and yet again, people. It's not Google's fault. It is up to the businesses to update Google.
No, but maybe it's gone bust.
It's certainly not gone bust. The amount of people who've performed here at the Roundhouse is unbelievable. I mean, we're talking Led Zeppelin, we're talking Thin Lizzy, we're talking the Velvet Underground without Lou Reed. So it's not really the Velvet Underground in my books. For me, well, you need Lou, don't you? But so many people have been here. Pink Floyd have been here. Dr. Feelgood. Matt the Hoople. Matt the Hoople's been here. Yeah, I mean, so many people have been here. So many people.
Billy Bragg.
Yeah, Billy Bragg played here, of course.
Absolutely.
Billy Bragg played here. Billy Bragg played here in 1984, I believe, to a wonderful, appreciative Barking crowd. But look, this is the back of the pub. Sharon, behind you, look, this is the back of the pub. This is the music bar. This is the back of the pub, and so the back of the pub leads to Bragg Close. If you remember, in our Alexandra Palace series, we were walking around the Ali Pali grounds, and we came across a load of chainsaw art, carved wooden chainsaw pieces dedicated to various different Olympic sports to celebrate the 2012 London Olympiad. So this one, it's all made by the same person, Shane Green. This is rowing, as you can see. My dad was a rower and a rowing coach, so he should enjoy this one. If you stand back a little bit, you can probably...
I can see them quite clearly.
You can see them quite clearly.
Person A, person B.
Yes.
Water, and there's the foot and the boat underneath, isn't that?
Yes.
It looks like it was carved in situ.
It would have been probably carved in situ. I think that was part of the...
yeah, because it's a horizontal theme, isn't it?
It's really nice, isn't it?
Lovely.
And there's about 4 or 5 of these in this park. You see, the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham was one of the boroughs that hosted Olympic events, so those boroughs have some Shane Green art in them. There's a few more to look at over there, but I actually think this is the best one, so I don't think we'll bother checking them out.
This is amazing. I want one.
Can I have a go on this?
Yeah.
Wait.
Here, you have to get on that side.
I go on this side.
Cool. Pull like a swing. Get your feet off the ground. Foot up. That's it. Pull the chain and push the chain.
So we are currently at Mayesbrook Wonderland. Mayesbrook Wonderland is a little a little playground. Well, actually, I think that bit over there is a bit that's supposedly called Mayes Brook Wonderland, that fenced-off area. But this is actually more wonderful than that bit. Yeah, so this, here we go. This is Mayes Brook Wonderland.
This is cool. I want one.
Yeah.
This is like old rope that they make for ships.
Yeah. Can we get off now?
Okay, you get off.
Okay. Oh.
What have you done? Have you ripped your clothes again?
I don't know.
Oh,
I've ripped
no.
something.
Centrifugal. It's brilliant. Now someone else wants a turn?
I want to go.
Neat. Very clever. Playground equipment has definitely improved since our days.
Yeah. Just behind that green thing over there. That green thing is a gym and a basketball court and all sorts of goodies. Just behind that is the stadium of Barking FC. Yes, they have their own football team. It's had a few changes of name over the years. Barking, most recently it was Barking and East Ham United, I think. But before then it's been Barking this and Barking that. No one's entirely sure when exactly the club was founded. Obviously when Barking and East Ham folded, the club started again. If we're being really pedantic, it was founded in 2006 because that was after the old club Barking and East Ham United folded. Sort of like a Phoenix club came up in 2006. But to be fair, obviously it's a lot older than that because it's had a lot of reincarnations. It's always been the same team, the same colours, etc. Probably there were some different colours at some point. It's known as the Blues, the Barking team. Yes, I'm just looking at my notes. Barking FC were, according to them, established in 1880. Though the club has sort of been renamed and refounded a few times since then. Now I can't actually blame them because I'm a Crystal Palace fan, and us Crystal Palace fans actually are saying that our club was founded in 1861. We even have a song about it. It's wonderful. The FA say that no, we weren't formed in 1861. It was much later. But so there you go. We want our clubs to be older. So good on them for saying that they are the original club from the 1880s. They play in the Essex Senior League, which is the 9th division if we're going to count down from the Premier League, and it has a 2,500 capacity, which is pretty decent, I think, for 9th tier.
Well, why do you need a treadmill? You've got a park. Why the hell would you have here?
Let's have a go.
Run in the park. You've got hills and nice grass to run on.
Well, it depends.
That's weird. It's like a bad skateboard.
Oh.
That is just wrong in every way.
Ah. Hey!
This is what you
I can do it!
You test cars on that.
I can do it!
You're on the wheels.
Oh!
Clock up the mileage on a
Did you see that? Did you see that? Did you film that?
Yeah. And?
Well, I've never done anything like that before. What's that?
It's a type of fly.
It's a type of fly?
Yes, but it's a mimic, so it's copying the wasp colours.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a fly.
It's a fly.
Single wing.
Yeah.
It's a Hymenoptera, but it's not got the double wings. It's a fly.
Okay. Does it sting?
No.
Rather you
It's
than
a
me?
pollinator, but it's not a stinger.
Rather you than me? Okay.
Fine.
So, Barking FC. They've had a few famous players over the years. Probably the most famous is a young black chap called Jack Leslie. He had been banging goals in for the Blues, for Barking FC, since he joined in the 1910s. And by 1921, which is when he left Barking, Barking not only had won the Essex Senior Cup, and he'd banged more than 250 goals in for the club, which is a fantastic record. In 1921 he moved on to the Pilgrims, that's Plymouth Argyle for those non-football fans, and he also continued banging the goals in. He's just a fantastic player, probably the best player of the 1920s, I would have thought. Great player, so prolific. So he got a call up in 1925, yay, to play for England. Fantastic. It was only then that the English FA discovered and this is shocking that it should have even been an issue, but those were the times, discovered that he was black, and they decided that he couldn't play. He had been called up to play for the reserve team for England, which is the first step, in a match, an international match against Ireland. He was never called up. Absolutely disgusting. It was only this year, it was actually this last week, 7th of October 1922, that the FA kind of made reparations, and they awarded him an England cap posthumously, so almost 100 years too late. Absolutely disgraceful. Plymouth Argyle, at the same event, unveiled a beautiful bronze statue of him, which you can see on your screen right now. Absolutely beautiful gesture. Good old Pilgrims. Again, should have happened ages ago, but better late than never, I guess they say. But there you go. It wasn't really until 1978 when Viv Anderson became the first black player to represent England at the senior level. Now I've got the numbers here. I'm going to check my notes again. 935 players were awarded England caps before him. Obviously none of those players were black. Absolutely. I think there was one mixed race person, or maybe more than one, but no black players represented England until Viv Anderson in the senior squad. Absolutely disgusting. But Jack Leslie is not the only famous player to have played for Barking. Glenn Tamplin. Now he played for Barking, and he played for Barking sides, two non-league teams. He didn't play for anyone else, so he didn't really have a particularly illustrious football career, but Glenn Tamplin is famous for other things. Back in 2010s or so, he was quite a heavy drug user, and he was lying in bed with his wife one night, and he had a near-death experience in which he claims that he was visited from above, and the powers that be told him that he had to spend his money to buy a non-league football team and bring it up to the top, at least to get a really decent FA Cup win and win the FA Vase. So that was his dream. He was the second richest man in Essex at the time, so he bought Billericay Town in 2016. He bought some very interesting, very well-known players like Jermaine Pennant and Konchelski. Now, Glenn Tamplin, as you can imagine from my description, he was a born-again Christian after his near-death experience. And the amazing thing there was a mural. I'm going to put some images on your screen. This is a fascinating and hilarious mural depicting. It's really tacky as well, depicting Glenn Tamplin lying down in his bed with his wife and having his near-death experience, and then all these ridiculous images about sort of like all the messages he got and what he wanted to do with the team. It's on your screen now. Unfortunately, if you go to Billericay Town today, I think a lot of it has been painted out. Certainly the images of Glenn have been painted out. I don't know if the rest of it remains. I think the rest of it does remain. But anyway, so the first thing, well, after a few games, Glenn Tamplin, he got fairly good results with the club, but he sacked the coach and put himself in charge. They did well that season. For Billericay Town, and then in the next season, after 3 losses, he decided to sack himself as coach, and every time when he did this, he actually put out an official statement. Glenn Tamplin announces that Glenn Tamplin has been sacked from the club, and then he put the former coach in charge, but then he sacked him and put himself back in charge again. So Glenn Tamplin announces that Glenn Tamplin returns to the club as coach. It is hilarious. Eventually there was a disagreement, there was a police prosecution about something unrelated, and so he sold Billericay Town, and he ended up buying Romford FC, which is, funnily enough, the other team that plays here in this ground. Romford FC. So he has 2 connections. He played here for Barking, and he came here as a coach for Romford FC. Of course, the first thing he did when he joined Romford FC was get rid of the coach and instate himself as the team coach, and then he sacked himself again. It's the same old story. Anyhow, he now doesn't own any football clubs. I'm not sure what he's up to at the moment, but he is a fascinating character. Do check him out on YouTube. There's a link in the description below, and it'll be the funniest thing. If you don't know the story, it'll be the funniest thing you've seen, well, since seeing this episode, I guess. Okay? Oh yeah, Eustace's patent turnstiles. So these tables have been made out of old turnstiles, or click things.
They are the turnstiles. They haven't been made at all. That's exactly how they look. So the person selling the ticket would be here.
Well, they're not in situ, I would have thought.
No, but you see, it's a pedal. They're at least 100 years old.
Yeah.
At least.
This is an educational channel. I always want to remind you, this is an educational channel. This is a little sunken area, and what it is, it's known as a swale. It's basically an area where animals can come and drink water. This one here, for example, this one has got these little channels on either side, so the water can come rushing down these sluices. There's one over there and one over here. It fills this with water, and the local fauna can come and imbibe the sweet waters of Barking. There are a few of these. Here's another one. They're called swales, S-W-A-L-E-S. Hopefully that's a new word you've learnt today. Swale. Look at this one. As you can see, just over there is Mayes Brook, which we crossed earlier. Mayes Brook gives its name to Mayesbrook Park. And what that means is, as before, we are leaving Dagenham, the official sort of Dagenham boundaries, even though Barking and Dagenham is all one these days. We are leaving Dagenham, and by crossing Mayes Brook, we are back in good old Barking. We will of course be returning to Dagenham proper in the next episode. That's when we start with Becontree and places like that, until we eventually reach Dagenham itself and all the exciting things that it has to offer. Right, so now we are going to visit a very important school. This is Barking Abbey School. There's then also another part of Barking Abbey School further up that way. A lot of famous musicians have been here. Brian Paul, you remember Brian Paul? Well, you won't remember Brian Paul. I'm sure you're probably far too young, but Brian Paul was the lead singer of the Tremolos. He was from Barking and he went to school here. I'm sure you remember that famous song from 1963 that hit the charts. It was based on the Motown classic, Do You Love Me?
Yes, I do.
Do you love me? You know
Yes,
it's
I
true.
do. Na, na, na.
Da 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 da. Do you love me? You have the indie pop band McCarthy. Well, they were from Barking, or half of them were anyway, and they were formed in 1984 here in Barking. Both singer Malcolm Eden and the lead guitarist Tim Gain went to this school. So musical. And of course, since I mentioned the name Tim Gain, then he was one half of Stereolab. Yes, Stereolab recently got back together after 30. Well, they took a quite a little hiatus, but 32 years ago they started. Seems like yesterday, doesn't it? It's quite scary, that. But of course, the most famous musician to have honed his, in this case, education here was Billy Bragg. Of course, I have to keep mentioning good old Billy. I am going to mention Billy in every single episode on Barking and Dagenham, even if it kills me, I'm telling you. Billy Bragg went to school here. There you go. I mean, what higher accolade could there be? Billy Bragg, the Bard of Barking, as they call him, didn't actually have do very well here. He failed his 11 pluses, and that kind of precluded him from ever entertaining the idea of going to university. Very sad, but his poetry writing was sublime, and his teachers encouraged his poetry writing. They even went as far as recommending him to read out his poems on local radio. So his poetry writing is what really inspired him, inspired his teachers, and of course inspires his music, because his songs, they're not just songs, they are poetry. Bob Dylan has won a Nobel Literary Prize. I think that maybe one day Billy Bragg could be in for a shout as well. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again one sunny day. Now, I think you probably guessed why I'm singing that song. Behind me, number 24, was the place where Dame Vera Lynn lived. Of course, she was known as the Force's sweetheart. She lived there, died in 2020 at the age of 103. No blue plaque. Of course there's no blue plaque. You have to be dead 20 years to get an official blue plaque. But I suspect that in 2040 she'll be top of the queue to receive a blue plaque from the English Heritage, whoever it is who choose the blue plaques. Before World War II, she'd already had quite a lot of hits and had made enough money to actually buy this house outright in 1938 for her to live in with her family. She used to have a radio programme when the war started, which would be a morale boosting exercise, a half-hour programme in which she sang, and which she would read out letters or messages from women in maternity wards who had just given birth, so that their husbands fighting over in Europe could hear it on the World Service, hear the messages. And she even also joined in on the war effort and actually went places like Burma and India and Egypt, and would sing in person to the forces as well. She didn't live here very long. By 1941 she had met her husband Harry, and they moved out not far from here, just down the road. In fact, they rented the place on this very road, but her mum and dad still carried on living here. In fact, even when she received her damehood in 1975, her mum Annie was still alive, and there's a little photo there on your screen where she's showing that was her showing off her prize, or whatever it is that you get when you become a dame. It's a medal, I suppose, with her mum Annie next to her. So her mum, and that photo was taken inside this house. 103 years old. She certainly, as they say, she certainly got good innings, didn't she? Yeah, anyway, let's move on to the next place. It looks like it's... Is it open?
Nah, I don't know. It's been like, it's still got work to do inside. They've painted the walls, but the flooring's ready, all board and ready to like put something down the carpet.
It is going to stay a pub though, isn't it?
I should imagine so. I'm looking at the cut of the pub, I reckon.
Yeah.
Please folded.
No, it's not. No. He said they're just doing it up.
I run out of money. It seems ages. They've done the outside, but every time I look through, it just seems like there's tools there, paint, but no, it's got no further. You know what I mean? For about last month or so, it doesn't look any different.
Oh well. Bang goes my idea for yet again for having another little drink, but still doesn't matter. We had one at Barking FC. We are now going to be heading just down here and heading right into Barking Park. Barking Park is a quaint park. It's got a little lake at the top, which is quite interesting. It's a long, thin lake. Hopefully there'll be something for us to do in there. You'll find out later. Yes, this is the other part of Barking Abbey School. Remember, just earlier we were in Barking Abbey School, and this is the other part. I'm not sure how many of the names that we mentioned earlier went to this part
That looks old.
or to the other part. This is probably...
That's not old. That's old.
Yeah. But yes,
That's
Barking.
Longbridge Road.
I don't know which one Billy Bragg went to, which one all the other people, the guy from the Tremolos, went to. Actually, an interesting thing about the Tremolos, while we're on the subject, it was originally spelt Tromolos. They called themselves Tromolos mainly because of a typo in the newspaper from a copy editor who couldn't spell. So they actually were officially registered with that name. Eventually, when they became quite popular, they changed it to the correct spelling of Tremolos. So there used to be a Lido here, I believe, at one point.
Well, maybe that's that building over
No,
there.
it's long gone, long gone.
All right.
Long gone. But we are, first of all...
My cudgel. With Scottish ancestry, a lady or a gentleman must have a cudgel.
There we go. So we're going to look up a couple of things, but anyhow, there is here in this park the three things that we ought to look at. One is a war memorial, which is quite fitting, seeing that we just visited the home of Dame Vera Lynn. The other is a miniature railway thing. It's the Barking Park Miniature Railway, I think it's called. Used to be a steam locomotive that used to take people around the park. It's now diesel. Not sure if that's necessarily a progressive move in this day and age, but there you go. The steam locomotive that they used to have was called the Empress. That was sold and is now can still be seen at the Eastleigh Lakeside Steam Railway, I think it's called. You'll still see it. So now they have, as I said, a diesel train nicknamed Nat. That's the name of the train. But first of all, just going to have a quick look at the War Memorial. This statue is known as the Men of Barking. I don't know if it's just men here. It says just the honoured dead in memory of the citizens of the borough, but for some reason it's known as Men of Barking. Anyhow, where's this miniature railway? I can see some tracks over there, which is a good sign. I can't see any trains yet, but it will run shortly, hopefully. But it says on their Facebook page that they're running, so let's hope that their Facebook page is right. But as you can see, it winds all around. I'm not sure what that is. Oh yeah, no, this is a place where it turns.
Right, but it's not. Look at it. It's rusty on the top.
Well, there were people reviewing it just last year, so.
Well, yeah, but it doesn't.
Maybe this particular part is closed, but. Or maybe.
Because maybe somebody died.
No.
Well, what's that doing there then? And why is it next to this?
Well, that looks like somebody died.
Well, yeah, it's a shrine.
It's a shrine. Don't touch it. Ah. I don't know. I'm sure that's not the reason why the train isn't running, but I'm very sorry to see that. Hopefully it was not caused by the train. I'm sure it wasn't.
I don't know, but it doesn't look like it's been running in a while, this train.
No.
I'm so sorry.
Huh?
And it's sad to do too. So.
Yeah. Are the trains still running? Do you know, the miniature railway?
I don't know.
Yeah?
I think it is to go sharp.
I thought it was 6 o'clock it said on their Facebook page. They were open till.
That's right.
Oh well, looks like they stuffed information again.
Yeah.
All right then, thank you. Hello. Do you know if the trains where we get the train from, the little train?
You mean Barking Station?
No, the miniature train. Yeah.
It wasn't here, but we was checking. It's
not working today.
It's not working today.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, thank you. Is it normally you get it from there? Is that right?
Yeah, it's the front.
From the beginning of the park here.
That's the beginning of the park. I see. Okay, thank you. There you go. Bloody typical, isn't it? Not running, but they haven't updated their social media. Still says open until 6 p.m. In fact, you can buy Groupon vouchers to go on it for today if I wanted to. It's infuriating. Anyway, so that's where the train, you meant to get the train from. and it goes to the pedaloes, and we've seen the pedalo floating around, so hopefully the pedaloes aren't going to let us down, or else this episode's going to be a bit of a damp squib, isn't it?
Well,
the ending
that's
is.
why we want to go soon because
Yes.
we might close.
Okay, so this lake is the company that runs the pedalos call themselves the Magical Unicorn Lake. Magical Unicorn Lake. Very clever title, to be honest, because on Google Maps it has right in the middle of the lake, it says Magical Unicorn Lake. That's the name of the company, and of course the company is based right at the middle. So in fact everyone now calls this the Magical Unicorn Lake, even though that's not the real name of the lake. It's a very clever piece of marketing, I think. In fact the real name of the lake is, quite boringly, Barking Park Lake. If that name rings a bell, that is because Billy Bragg wrote a song once in his first band called Riff Raff. They wrote a song called Barking Park Lake, and it was a minor hit. You can hear it on YouTube. There is a link below in the description. There we go. Hello there. I don't know if you got my email at all, or I don't know who it went to. We're doing a vlog, like a vlog about all the fun things to do in Barking and Dagenham, going on YouTube. So we've got a YouTube channel. We've been to the Barking Abbey. We've just been to various museums and stuff. And I was hoping that we could, I don't know, get some kind of comp or something like that, or maybe even half price, or comp, or
I'll let you go free.
Oh, thank you. That's great. What's your name?
Adrian.
Adrian, thank you very much, Adrian. I hope you subscribe to the channel. That'd be great. Only have to be for a
I'll
short.
check it out.
Oh, hang on. Could I just give my phone?
Yeah.
Just. Could you just pass my?
Not waterproof, do you mind?
You want to take a picture?
No.
It's not waterproof.
If you could leave it in the office, that'd be great.
Thank you.
This is valuable.
Just stuff it with the
yes.
bag.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
In case something happens. All right. Okay. You know how to run these things, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. I'll start. And there's your rudder. All right. Go.
Oh, it's quite small, isn't it?
Oh God, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your generosity. This is wonderful. This is a wonderful way to end the episode, isn't it?
I'm gonna actually go with socks because my shoes are too wide.
This is a wonderful way to end the episode. Look at that. We're on the lake made famous by Riff Raff. Immortalised in their song in 1979.
Are we gonna keep track of the time or?
No. This is relaxing, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Oh.
Keep your weight down. Graceful, elegant.
There we go. Fantastic.
All right, there you go.
Wow. That was brilliant. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you. Okay, well, that was a lovely way to end the episode, wasn't it? On a nice positive note, a little bit of recognition for the work we do. We got a little bit of a freebie there, and that was really fun. And I recommend it. We both recommend it. It's definitely worth £6. 15 minutes is enough, I think. But there again, we didn't go all the way down there. So we could, if we had done the full half hour, we would have been able to go down there. Yeah. So there you go. So you know what's coming now. We're going to be in Dagenham next, or we're going to be in sort of Beckandry and making our way towards Dagenham and Dagenham Heath in the next few episodes. But that's the end of the Barking half of our series. So
Till next time.
bye.
Next time on Love Your London, we'll be visiting Chadwell Heath, the Beckantry Estate, the amazing Vallance House Museum, Parslows Park, which is undergoing a fabulous rewilding project, and of course Beckantry Station. Till next time.
From Acton Town to Wimbledon, from Brixton to beyond, love your London, have a banana.